Hello friends, welcome to Technique. This is Nirmal here and you're watching the detailed camera review of the new smartphone from OnePlus, the OnePlus Nord launched recently. The new OnePlus Nord comes with quad camera setup with 48 megapixel primary camera and a 32 megapixel dual selfie camera. So let's dive deep into the camera to see how it performs. If this is your first time here, do hit that red subscribe button and also hit the bell icon to get notified of all the videos we publish. Now coming back to the review. Let's first have a look at the hardware offered. In terms of the camera hardware, the OnePlus Nord packs a quad rear camera with 48 megapixel primary camera with f1.75 aperture with Sony's IMX586 sensor. You also get an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens, 2 megapixel macro sensor and 5 megapixel depth sensor. There is also LED flash included. There is both electronic image stabilization and optical image stabilization included for the primary camera. The front camera is a 32 megapixel camera with IMX616 sensor and f2.45 aperture along with an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens. So let's find out how the camera performs. Let's first have a look at the video quality. The phone can shoot 4K videos in 30 fps and the quality looks good. There is good details on offer and the sharpness levels are also quite good. The lack of 4K at 60 fps is something which is quite surprising from OnePlus. The 1080p resolution looks good and supports both 30 and 60 fps. All the videos options are supported by stabilization, which is even available for the 4K 30 fps. While colors are a bit vivid at times, the dynamic range is good and overall we are quite happy with the improvements in the video department. Another option is to shoot the 4K with movie mode, where you get 21:9 aspect ratio for videos. There is also EIS support for the movie mode. Unlike most of the other smartphones where there is not much quality in the ultra wide angle video, Nord does a good job with sharpness and overall details. There is EIS on offer for the ultra wide angle camera as well. It can record 1080p at 30 fps. The phone can also record slow motion videos in 1080p resolution and it looks pretty good. The phone also offers super stable mode for the video recording. Now moving on to the photos. The daylight shots taken with a 48 megapixel camera came out quite well. The colors are vivid and details are also good. We felt the overall quality was quite okay, but the sharpness levels were slightly disappointing as you could see noise when you zoom in. This could be fixed in the coming days with software updates and we are expecting OnePlus to work on it. The dynamic range is also good. While colors are good, it can slightly get vivid at times, but it isn't oversaturated. There is also dedicated 48 megapixel mode which takes images in higher resolution, but we did not see any major difference here. So overall we feel the daylight shots were quite good from the OnePlus Nord. The 8 megapixel ultra wide angle shots came out pretty good. While it is not as good as the primary camera, it is still very much usable and the colors looks pretty good on the ultra wide angle lens. We definitely liked the shots taken with the 8 megapixel shooter. The close-up shots taken with the camera was good and it had good details and better sharpness levels. Once again, the color reproduction is quite good, although occasionally it might be saturated as well. The focusing speed was also good and we did not have any issues here. There is also a tendency for images to exhibit watercolor-like effect. The phone has a 2 megapixel macro sensor and this is probably one of the disappointing aspects of the camera. The performance is quite similar to OnePlus 8 and sadly no improvements. The colors are muted and sharpness levels are in grid on the macro sensor. Now moving on to the portrait shots, we felt the portraits are pretty good on the OnePlus Nord. The skin tones are good and the sharpness levels are also impressive. The edge detection is once again quite accurate. Next, moving on to the low light captures. With f1.75 aperture, the phone can take some good images in low light. In indoor lighting condition, it produces good results. There is good amount of details as well. Even when light drops further, OnePlus Nord does a good job in bringing images with lesser noise levels. The low light images are sharp as well. There is night mode on offer, which definitely brings in more details and sharper images. Overall, night mode does a pretty good job. Moving into the selfie camera, the 32 megapixel shooter can take some decent selfies with good sharpness and details. The dynamic range is also very good. But having said that, it was a mixed performance as some of the selfies turned out to be too whitish in nature. We turned off the beauty mode since we like selfies without the beauty mode. Since selfies are more of a personal choice, you can judge based on the clarity. There is also 8 megapixel ultra wide angle selfies, which again is quite good. The phone also comes with portrait mode for selfies, and here again the edge detection is quite good. So this is the video recording taken using the OnePlus Nord's front dual selfie camera. It can record videos in 1080p resolution and it can go up to 4K at 60 fps, which is something which is really good. And there is also ultra wide angle camera for the front facing shooter. So this is the 4K 60 fps video taken using the front camera on the OnePlus Nord. So only very few devices offer 60 fps and 4K for the front facing camera, and OnePlus Nord is one of them. So you can judge yourself how good the clarity of the video is and also the audio output from the front camera. So this is the ultra wide angle video recording taken using the OnePlus Nord. So the ultra wide angle camera can take 1080p at 30 fps. So this is the 1080p at 30 fps footage taken from the OnePlus Nord. So summing up, how good is the OnePlus Nord performance in terms of the camera? The OnePlus Nord camera is good in parts and works quite well, but it needs improvements in macro photography, a bit more sharpness levels in daylight, and also better skin tones in selfie photos. We expect OnePlus to fix these issues in the coming update. The video recording with stabilization looks good even though there is no 4K 60 fps on offer. So what do you guys think about the camera on OnePlus Nord? Do share in your thoughts in the comment section. This is Nirmal signing off with a camera review of the OnePlus Nord. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit the subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.